I came across this new app called UCLA Mindful. It's a meditation app. It's got great reviews so far, and it really seems to be growing in popularity every day. And so I decided to test it out. I wanted to see what all the fuss was about and ultimately determine whether or not this app really does have some benefit to it. Plus, in the 5 years that I've been meditating, I've never actually used a meditation app, so I was also curious about that. So in this video, I'm going to give you an in-depth review of this app, what it's all about, and ultimately help you decide whether or not it's something that you want to try as well. First off, I'm in no way sponsored or being paid by UCLA in any way. This is simply out of my own curiosity, just wanting to test out the app. That said, the app is free. Just go to your app store, whether you have an iPhone or an Android. It's available on both. Okay, so this is the front page of the app. We're gonna run through this pretty briefly, but I'm gonna go into, obviously, into all the different little sections here that we've got. So we go into getting started. Getting started is a nice little overview. As you can see, intro into mindfulness, choosing a meditation, selecting a meditation posture, and there's also this last video here, an intro into the science of mindfulness. I watched all of these videos. They seem to be very beneficial. Seem to be something that's very useful for those that are new to meditation, new to mindfulness. So it's Diana Winston who seems to be at the head of the app. She is the director of mindfulness education at UCLA, which I just want to go ahead and say that that's awesome to see. That it kind of shows how far we've come in the world, that you can have this sort of title, a director of mindfulness education, that a university that's as prestigious as UCLA takes mindfulness as seriously as it does. So it's good to see. So again, it's a great intro, and it was good it was good getting to see that, and I think it would be very beneficial for those that are new to meditation and to mindfulness. Then you go into basic meditations here. So basic meditations, as you can see, it's offered in English or in Spanish. I do not speak Spanish. I'm learning, but I stuck to the English meditations here. Before I show you what they have, it looks like there's 6-week online classes, which ultimately takes you to this page on their site. I'm not gonna go into this. It looks like it's something that's paid, does cost a little bit, but if it's something that you're interested in, it seems like it could be beneficial. Going back to the app, so as you can see, there's multiple different types of guided meditations here. You've got breathing meditation or Zen, Zazen meditation. You've got a combination here, breath, sound, and body meditation. I really like that they did that, combining multiple different styles, types of meditation. So essentially you have Zen, sound is sounds meditation, body meditations like Vipassana. And then you got things like meditation for working with difficulties. This is one that I listened to. Seems to be something that would be very, beneficial to people who are struggling with things, maybe dealing with some sadness or depression or whatever it might be. Loving kindness meditation, also known as Metta Bhavana. This one's very good. It's not one that I tend to practice very often myself on a daily basis, but it's definitely one that is very powerful and can really put you in a really good state of mind. Again, body and sound meditation, it's combining two. Body scan, that's Vipassana. And then the body scan for sleep, I didn't check that one out. If you've tried the app, let me know what you think about it in the comments below, or if you do plan on it, let me know, because I'd be curious. Then we go back ultimately to the main page here. We have wellness meditations. Doesn't look like it's off. There's an option for Spanish here, only English. What I noticed when you listen to the introduction and instructions clip here, it looks like it was developed for their hospital, for the UCLA hospital, and for their patients, which is good to see, because ultimately they tested it within their facilities with their patients before turning it into an app and putting it out to their, to the general public. And so again, when you scroll through these, again, these guided meditations are pretty much the same as, they're the same as the ones under basic meditations. You got body, awareness, sound, breath, Body scan, loving kindness, again, working with difficulties. The Tibetan singing bowls is different. I definitely enjoyed that one. I like sounds. Sometimes I like to, when I meditate, I like to either listen to certain types of music or certain sounds. Particularly, I'm very sound oriented. So that one was definitely very nice and calm and cool. And just overall, Diana's voice is very soothing. So that definitely also helps. Otherwise, I didn't really see much of a difference with the wellness meditations. It's the same, other than it seems like the time is a little bit longer, maybe on average, for these meditations. I didn't really see much of a difference otherwise. And then we go back to the main page. You've got podcasts at the Hammer. This seems to be their, maybe the Hammer is a location on campus where they do the podcasts at. I didn't listen to any of these, but it looks like they go into depth about different topics on mindfulness and meditation. Going back to the main page, you got this top menu. You've got a timer up here. One thing I forgot to mention is that all the meditations, the guided meditations, they end with a chime, which is soothing. I love that. And the meditation timer here does that as well. You've got a couple different options, 2, 5, 10 minutes, custom. You can change it up to your liking. Also at the top menu, you've got the newsletter, which I'm not gonna click. Ultimately, it takes you to their site, so you can join the newsletter, stay up to date on things. And then about Mark. So Mark is the mindfulness, the Mindful Awareness Research Center. Ultimately, it looks like that's where the app was developed and where Diana Winston, I guess, works from. So that's just a quick overview of the app. You're ultimately going to be working primarily in basic meditations and wellness meditations. So all in all, that is the app. Now, what do I think of it having used it the last few days? Well, I'll go ahead and start with a few things that I would adjust before I give my overall review. One nitpicky issue that I want to bring up is within the basic meditations, and specifically the loving kindness meditation. In the beginning of the meditation, Diana mentions that we all have this desire, this natural desire for happiness, whether that be for us to be happy personally or for others to be happy. Now, the Buddha taught that life is suffering. I know this may sound dark and morbid, but it is true in very many ways. And his teaching was that we ultimately have to get to the point where we accept this fact. No chasing positive emotions and no avoiding negative ones. And the Buddha taught this ability, and we continue to teach this act of letting go through meditation. So for example, with body scan meditation, also known as Vipassana, the point is to simply notice the sensations that you feel throughout your body, whether they're positive sensations or negative ones, pleasant or unpleasant, and to simply let them go. To have no desire to hold on to things that feel good or to get rid of those things that feel bad. So when we practice loving kindness meditation, also known as metta bhavana, and when we come from a place of desiring love either for ourselves or for others, it's essentially counterintuitive. The point isn't to desire anything. It's not about, I want love, I want peace, I want joy. But rather, and this is a very distinct, important point that I want to make here, you want to come from a place of spreading love, spreading joy, spreading peace to others and to yourself rather than desiring it. There's a really fine, distinct difference there. That said, I completely understand that the point of this app isn't to teach Buddhist philosophy, but rather to give people an understanding of mindfulness and meditation. In addition to that, it would be nice to have longer meditation options for some of the more experienced meditators, something like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, or even longer. But I do understand why they may not have added that feature into the app if it is more geared towards new meditators. And finally, I want to add that it would be good if the wellness meditations were different somehow. Maybe wellness meditations can be longer, or they can incorporate even other forms of meditation that basic meditations didn't go over. And one of the good things is that this is an app and that they can update it and add features. So now, my overall opinion. I do believe that it's a very useful and beneficial app for new meditators. Diana does a great job of explaining meditation and mindfulness. She's clearly very educated on the topic, and her voice is very soothing. I also love the fact that it teaches multiple types of meditation. I was actually under the impression that it would only focus on one type. And the reason why this is so important is because it not only shows people that there are multiple different ways to meditate, which makes it more exciting and interesting, but it also gives people the option to eventually choose which type of meditation they like to do best. And honestly, I did enjoy getting to explore the app and try it out for a few days. There's definitely some benefit to gain from it. So now I'm gonna send it back to you. What do you think? Have you tried it? Do you plan on trying it? Comment below and let me know, and feel free to ask any questions about things that I may not have covered. That said, this is the end of the video. I do want to thank all of you for joining in, and as always, improve your body, improve your mind, improve the world.